The big meeting room on Nexus Prime felt cold and empty. 47 different alien races sat in their special chairs, waiting. The air buzzed with nervous energy. Today would change everything. Ambassador Zeth Galar stood at the center of the room. His blue skin looked pale under the bright lights. In his hands, he held a small device that would play Earth's message. Every alien in the room stared at him. They all knew what was coming. "The humans have sent their answer," Zeth Galar said. His voice shook a little. "I will play it now." The device lit up. A man appeared in the air above it. He looked strong and calm. His name was Commander Jake Morrison. He wore a dark blue uniform with gold stripes on his shoulders. "I speak for all humans," Morrison said. His voice was clear and firm. "The United Earth Federation has made its choice. We reject your demands." The room went dead quiet. No one moved. No one breathed. Morrison kept talking. "You want us to stop building ships. You want us to share our technology. You want us to ask permission before we explore new worlds. We say no to all of it." A sound like breaking glass came from one of the aliens. Another made a deep growling noise. The insect-like speaker Veltara clicked her mouthparts fast and loud. "Humans will make their own path in the stars," Morrison continued. "We do not need your permission. We do not want your control. This message ends our talks." The image disappeared. The room stayed quiet for a long moment. Then chaos broke loose. "This cannot be," shouted Admiral Kexmoth. His crystal body flashed, red with anger. "No race has ever said no to the Council. Never in 3,000 years. Speaker Veltara stood up on her 6 legs. Her big eyes looked around the room. "The humans do not understand what they have done. They are young and stupid. We must teach them." Other aliens started talking at once. Some clicked, some buzzed, some made sounds like singing, but they all said the same thing. The humans had to be stopped. Far away on Earth, Commander Morrison stood in a room deep under the ground. The walls were thick metal. Screens covered every surface. Military officers sat at control stations. The air smelled like coffee and electronics. General Pete Collins walked over to Morrison. He carried a folder full of papers. "The aliens are moving their fleets," he said. "Our spy satellites picked up the signals an hour ago." Morrison nodded. He had expected this. "How many ships?" "More than we have ever seen," Collins answered. "They are serious about stopping us." Dr. Lisa Park looked up from her computer. She had been studying alien technology for 5 years. "Commander, I have finished the analysis. Their weapons are strong, but they have weaknesses. Our new ships can use those weaknesses." Morrison walked to the big screen at the front of the room. It showed a map of space around Earth. Red dots marked alien fleet positions. Blue dots showed human ships. There were a lot more red dots than blue ones. Captain Ryan Hayes sat at the communications station. He was young but smart. His fingers moved fast over the controls. "Sir, we are getting messages from our colony worlds. They want to know what to do." "Tell them to get ready," Morrison said. "Operation Starbreak starts now." Operation Starbreak was Earth's secret plan. For 2 years, humans had been building new types of ships. These ships were different from alien vessels. They were faster. They could fight alone. They did not need big fleets to work. Morrison pressed a button on his chair. "All ships, this is command. You have permission to begin. Show them what humans can do." Across human space, ships started moving. The battleship Iron Fist left Mars' orbit. The cruiser Night Hunter powered up its engines near Jupiter. Dozens of smaller ships spread out like a net. Back on Nexus Prime, the aliens were still arguing. High Arbiter Quindara stood up. She was very old and very wise. When she spoke, others listened. "We have ruled the galaxy for 40,000 years, she said. Her voice was soft, but everyone heard her. We have kept peace. We have stopped wars. The humans will destroy this peace if we let them. Then we do not let them, said Fleet Commander Vardok. He was a warrior from a warrior race. His people had fought the Council long ago and lost. I will take every ship we have. I will go to Earth. I will make them surrender. The other aliens nodded. They voted. The decision was unanimous. War. The Council had rules for dealing with rebels. First, they would send a message. If that failed, they would send a small fleet. If that failed, they would send everything. The humans had skipped straight to step 3. Veltara called for a full military response. Gather our strongest ships. Call up the reserve fleets. Make sure every species sends their best warriors. The humans will learn why no one defies the Council. The meeting ended with a plan. In 1 week, the largest space fleet in galactic history would head for Earth. The humans would have one chance to surrender. If they refused, their planet would burn. But the aliens did not know about Operation Starbreak. They did not know that humans had been ready for this moment for years. They did not know that Earth's children were already spreading across the galaxy like seeds in the wind. Most importantly, they did not know that other alien races were watching. Races that were tired of Council rule. Races that wanted freedom. Races that might be willing to fight for it. The galaxy was about to change forever, and it would all start with one simple word. No. 3 days passed since the humans said no. The Galactic Council met again. This time, the mood was different. Anger filled the air like smoke. The meeting room's walls glowed red. This happened when the aliens inside were upset. Right now, they were very upset. High Arbiter Quindara spoke first. Her voice was cold as ice. 40,000 years of peace, 40,000 years of order. The humans want to destroy it all. She walked around the center of the room. Her long robes trailed behind her. Never has any race dared to challenge us like this. The humans think they are special. We will show them they are wrong. Admiral Kexmoth's crystal body sparked with electricity. My scouts report human ships everywhere. They are not staying in their allowed space. They go wherever they want. They take whatever they want. The Zephyrian trademaster Felnox spoke up. His people controlled most of the galaxy's commerce. The humans are ruining our business. They offer better prices than we do. They deliver goods faster. Other races are choosing them over us. This was the real problem. The Council stayed in power by controlling trade. Every race had to buy and sell through Council-approved routes. The Council took a cut of every deal. This made them rich and powerful. But humans were ignoring these rules. They traded directly with anyone who wanted to trade. No fees, no permissions needed, no Council involvement at all. Worse than that, Felnox continued, other races are starting to ask questions. The Kalari Republic wants to know why they need our permission to trade with their neighbors. The Tau Collective is demanding lower fees. Speaker Veltara clicked, her mandibles together. The sound was sharp and angry. The humans are like a disease. Their ideas spread to other races. We must stop this before it gets worse. Fleet Commander Vardok stood up. His massive form cast a shadow over nearby delegates. I have a solution. We take our entire fleet to Earth. We show them our power. They will surrender or die. The room erupted in agreement. 47 different species all wanted the same thing. Human submission. But thousands of light years away, the humans were not sitting still. Captain Amy White stood on the bridge of her exploration ship, Freedom's Edge. She had been in space for 6 months, mapping new systems beyond Council territory. What she found shocked her. Ben, look at this, she called to her science officer, Lieutenant Ben Clark. She pointed at the navigation screen. These areas are marked as forbidden zones. The Council says they are dangerous, but look at our scans. Ben studied the data. His eyes went wide. Captain, these zones are not dangerous at all. They are full of resources, rare metals, habitable planets, energy sources we have never seen before. Amy felt anger building in her chest. The Council has been lying. They marked the best parts of the galaxy as off-limits. Then they kept them for themselves. She turned to her communications officer. Send this data back to Earth immediately. Maximum encryption. Make sure Command sees it. The message reached Earth's underground bunker 3 hours later. Commander Morrison read the report twice. Then he called an emergency meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, he told his staff, we now know why the Council really wants to control us. They have been hoarding the galaxy's wealth for thousands of years. Dr. Lisa Park leaned forward. Sir, if this is true, then every other race is being cheated too. They just do not know it. General Collins nodded. This could change everything. If the other races learned the truth, they might join us against the Council. Morrison made a decision that would shake the galaxy. Release the data. Send it to every race we can reach. Let them see what the Council has been hiding. Within hours, the information was spreading across space. Human ships carried the data to every corner of the galaxy. They broadcast it on open channels. They sent it directly to alien governments. The reaction was immediate. On the world of Kalara Prime, President Zixtal read the human report. His people had served the Council faithfully for 800 years. They had never questioned Council decisions. But this data showed that their home system sat next to a zone full of resources. Resources the Council claimed were too dangerous to touch. Zixtal called his advisors. Is this true? Are we surrounded by wealth while our people struggle? His chief scientist confirmed it. The human data matches our own secret scans. There are 3 habitable worlds and asteroid fields full of rare minerals within 2 light years of our home. The Council has known this all along. Similar scenes played out across the galaxy. The Tau Collective discovered that Council trade routes deliberately avoided efficient paths. The Yelani Defense Corps learned that Council peacekeeping missions had been used to claim valuable territory. Back on Nexus Prime, emergency alarms were ringing. Council Speaker Veltara rushed from meeting to meeting trying to control the damage. Multiple races are demanding explanations, her aide reported. The Kalari want to renegotiate their membership terms. The Tau Collective is threatening to leave the Council entirely. Veltara felt her carefully built world crumbling. The Council's power came from trust. If that trust was broken, everything would fall apart. Supreme War Coordinator Thexnul had a simpler view. We stop this now. We hit the humans so hard that no one else dares to question us again. He activated the Council's war protocols. Messages went out to every member species. They were ordered to send their best ships and crews to a gathering point near human space. No exceptions. No delays. How many ships will we have? Veltara asked. Over 3,000, Thexnul replied. The largest fleet in galactic history. The humans will see it and surrender immediately. But Veltara was not so sure. The humans had already done things no other race had attempted. They had said no to the Council. They had revealed secret information. They had inspired other races to question authority. What if they refused to surrender? And if they fight? She asked. Thexnul's smile was cold and cruel. Then we destroy them completely. We make sure no other race ever thinks about rebellion again. The Council voted. The decision was unanimous, just like before. But this time, something was different. This time, some of the delegates looked uncertain. This time, the humans had planted seeds of doubt. Those seeds were already starting to grow. On distant worlds, alien leaders held secret meetings. They asked themselves hard questions. Why did they need Council permission to explore their own star systems? Why did they have to pay fees to trade with their neighbors? Why had they never questioned these rules before? The humans had done more than reject diplomacy. They had shown that rejection was possible. They had proven that the Council was not all-powerful, and that changed everything. The truth spread like fire across the galaxy. Human data about the forbidden zones reached every corner of space. Within 2 weeks, everything changed. Admiral Kate Ross stood on the bridge of her flagship, Defiant Dawn. She was Earth's top military commander. Around her, officers worked at control stations. Everyone was busy preparing for war. "Admiral," called Commander Steve Miller from his position, "we are getting secret messages from alien races. They want to meet with us." Ross raised an eyebrow. "Which races?" The Kalari Republic sent the first message, then the Tau Collective. After that, 4 more races contacted us. They all say the same thing. They want to talk. Ross thought about this. The humans had expected the Council to attack. They had not expected other races to reach out. This could be a trap, or it could be an opportunity. "Set up a meeting," she decided. "Choose a neutral location. Make sure we can escape quickly if needed." The meeting happened 3 days later. A modified cargo ship drifted in empty space between star systems. It belonged to no government. No one claimed the territory around it. 6 different alien species came to the meeting. Each brought 1 ship. Each ship carried their top diplomats. The humans sent Rachel Torres, their best negotiator. The cargo ship's main room was not built for meetings. Boxes of supplies lined the walls. The air recycling system made a constant humming noise, but it was private and secure. Rachel looked around the room. She had never seen so many different alien species in one place. There was a tall, thin Kalari with silver skin, a furry Tau Collective representative with big ears. Others she did not recognize. "Thank you all for coming," Rachel began. "We know this is dangerous for you. The Council will not be happy if they find out about this meeting." The Kalari delegate, Ambassador Yilseth, spoke first. "Our government has been analyzing your data. Everything you shared is true. The Council has been lying to us for centuries." The Tau representative, Trade Minister Grixnall, nodded his big head. "My people control shipping in our sector. We always wondered why the Council forced us to use longer routes. Now we know. They wanted to keep us away from the valuable systems." Dr. Nathan Green, Earth's expert on alien biology, shared more information. He had been studying Council records for months. What he found was shocking. "The Council keeps lists of problem species," Nathan explained. "Races that ask too many questions or want more independence. 6 of these races have disappeared in the last 1,000 years. The Council says they went extinct, but we found evidence that they were forced to relocate to poor systems where they could not survive." The aliens in the room exchanged looks. Each species had their own way of showing fear, but Rachel could see it in all of them. A new voice spoke up. It belonged to Captain Vextar of the Yelani Defense Corps. "My people have served the Council as peacekeepers for 500 years. We thought we were protecting smaller races from war. But now I wonder, were we really helping the Council take their territory?" The meeting went on for hours. Each alien shared their own story. Each race had been cheated in different ways. The Council had used trade restrictions, territorial limits, and false emergencies to control everyone. But there was hope. The humans had proven that the Council could be challenged. They had shown that fighting back was possible. "What do you propose?" asked Ambassador Yilseth. Rachel had been waiting for this question. "We propose an alliance, not just for this fight, but for the future. A galaxy where every race is free to make their own choices." The idea was radical. For thousands of years, someone had always ruled the galaxy. First it was the ancient empires, then it was the Council. No one had ever tried true equality between species. "The Council will not give up easily," warned Trade Minister Grixnall. "They have the largest military force in known space." Rachel smiled. "They have the largest traditional military force. But we are not going to fight a traditional war." She activated a portable hologram projector. It showed a map of the galaxy. Human ships were marked in blue. They were spread out everywhere in dozens of systems. Human strategy is different, Rachel explained. We do not fight big battles with huge fleets. We fight many small battles with fast ships. We hit targets and disappear. We make the enemy chase us across empty space. The aliens studied the display. It showed a new way of thinking about war. Instead of giant fleets meeting in massive battles, it showed small groups striking everywhere at once. Captain Vextar looked interested. This could work. My people have ships designed for patrol duty. They are fast and well-armed, perfect for this type of fighting. The Tau Collective has the best cargo vessels in the galaxy, added Grixinel. We could modify them to carry weapons. The Council would never expect merchant ships to attack them. The meeting ended with agreements. Not formal treaties, but promises. If the Council attacked humanity, these races would help. They would provide ships, supplies, and information. Most importantly, they would spread the truth to other races. Back on Nexus Prime, Council Speaker Veltara was dealing with a crisis. Representatives from a dozen races had demanded emergency meetings. They wanted to discuss the human data. They wanted answers about the forbidden zones. "Tell them the meetings are postponed," Veltara ordered her staff. "We are too busy preparing for military action." But postponing would not make the problem go away. Every day, more races asked questions. Some threatened to leave the Council. Others simply stopped following Council orders. Supreme War Coordinator Thexnel tried to reassure the leadership. Once we defeat the humans, the others will fall in line. Fear is a powerful motivator. High Arbiter, Quindara was not convinced. The humans have changed something fundamental. For the first time in 40,000 years, other races believe they can challenge us. Defeating humanity might not be enough. Then, we defeat everyone who opposes us, Thexnel said simply. We remind the galaxy why the Council rules. The Council's war fleet was nearly ready. Ships from 47 different species had gathered at the staging area. It was an impressive sight. Massive battleships floated next to sleek cruisers. Fighter squadrons practiced formations. Supply vessels carried enough weapons and food for a year-long campaign. But something was wrong. Reports from the fleet commanders were troubling. Some crews seemed reluctant to fight. Others asked too many questions about their orders. A few ships had even developed mysterious technical problems that kept them from joining the fleet. The humans had done more than reject diplomacy. They had planted an idea that was spreading through the galaxy like a virus. The idea that freedom was possible. The idea that the Council was not invincible, and ideas once planted were very hard to kill. Admiral Ross received the final intelligence reports on Earth. The Council's fleet was massive. Humanity would be outnumbered 15-1. In a traditional battle, they would lose quickly, but this would not be a traditional battle. "Send the signal," Ross ordered. "Operation Starbreak enters its final phase. All units prepare for contact." Across human space, ships began moving toward their assigned positions. The biggest gamble in human history was about to begin. The Council War Fleet was a sight that would haunt dreams for generations. 3,000 ships stretched across space in perfect formation. Battleships the size of cities floated next to carriers filled with fighter craft. The fleet was so large that it took hours for light to travel from one end to the other. Supreme War Coordinator Thexnel stood on the bridge of his flagship, Cosmic Authority. Through the massive viewing windows, he could see hundreds of other vessels. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a planet. "This is the largest military force in galactic history," he told his staff. "The humans will see us coming and surrender immediately. No race is foolish enough to fight these odds." But Thexnel was wrong about many things. He was wrong about human nature. He was wrong about the loyalty of his own allies. Most importantly, he was wrong about how the war would be fought. Admiral Kate Ross received the scout reports while sitting in her command chair aboard Defiant Dawn. Her fleet looked tiny compared to the Council Armada. only 200 human. Ships spread across several star systems, but each ship was ready for what was coming. "The Council fleet will reach our outer defenses in 6 hours," reported Commander Steve Miller. "They are moving in standard formation, battle lines stretched across 3 light years." Ross nodded. The Council was fighting the last war, not this one. They expected humans to meet them with a big fleet in a giant battle. Instead, they would find something very different. "Signal from the Kalari Republic," announced Communications Officer Linda Price. "Admiral Zexnall says his ships are in position." Ross smiled. The secret alliance was working. While the Council gathered their massive fleet, their former subjects had been quietly preparing. The Kalari had moved 100 fast attack ships to strategic locations. The Tau Collective had armed their merchant vessels. Even the loyal Yilani had started asking difficult questions. On Earth, President Carlos Mendez addressed the world from the steps of the United Nations building. Behind him, the night sky glowed with the trails of departing spacecraft. Not just military ships, but civilian vessels carrying families to the stars. "My fellow humans," Mendez said, "today we face the greatest challenge in our history. The Galactic Council wants us to surrender our freedom. They want us to accept their control over our lives, our trade, our future." The crowd was silent. People around the world watched on their screens. Everyone knew what was at stake. "We could have accepted their demands," Mendez continued. "We could have lived as subjects instead of citizens. But that is not who we are. Humans do not kneel to anyone." Cheers erupted from the crowd. The sound echoed around the world. "Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for every race that dreams of freedom. We fight for a galaxy where all species can choose their own path among the stars." The speech ended, but its effects spread across human space. On colony worlds, civilian volunteers joined defense forces. In asteroid mines, workers modified their equipment into weapons. Even children sent messages of support to the fleet. Meanwhile, the Council fleet advanced like a slow-moving storm. But cracks were starting to show. Captain Vextar of the Yilani Defense Corps stood on his ship's bridge, staring at his orders. He was supposed to help destroy human colonies. He was supposed to kill millions of innocent people. The thought made him sick. "Sir," his communications officer said quietly, "we are receiving a transmission on a secure channel. It is from the human ship Freedom's Edge." Vexitar looked around the bridge. His crew was watching him. They all knew about the human data. They all knew the Council had been lying. "Put it through," he decided. Captain Amy White's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired but determined. "Captain Vexitar, I hope you will listen to what I have to say." "I am listening," Vexitar replied. "Your people have served as peacekeepers for 500 years. You have stopped wars and protected the innocent. But this war is different. This time, you are being asked to attack civilians. Is that what the Yilani Defense Corps stands for?" Vextar felt his heart's beating fast. His people valued honor above all else. There was no honor in killing families and children. "What are you asking me to do?" he said. "I am asking you to be what you have always been, a protector of the innocent. When the fighting starts, protect the people who cannot protect themselves, regardless of what species they belong to." The transmission ended. Vextar stared at the blank screen for a long moment. Then he turned to his crew. "Change course," he ordered. "Take us away from the main fleet." "Sir?" his navigation officer asked. "The humans are right. We are protectors, not destroyers. We will not participate in the slaughter of innocents." Similar scenes were playing out across the Council fleet. The human revelations had planted seeds of doubt in thousands of minds. Some ships developed mysterious engine problems. Others reported navigation errors that took them away from their assigned positions. A few simply declared that they would not fight. Thexnel watched his perfect fleet begin to fall apart. "What is happening?" he demanded. His intelligence chief, a nervous Zephyrian named Coltex, delivered the bad news. "Sir, we are losing ships. Not to enemy action, but to defection. Crews are questioning their orders. Some captains are refusing to attack civilian targets. Arrest them!" Thexnel shouted. "Court-martial anyone who disobeys orders. Sir, we cannot arrest 30% of our fleet, and the defections are spreading. The humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. They are telling our crews about the forbidden zones, the trade restrictions, the relocated species." Thexnel realized the horrible truth. The humans were not just fighting a military war. They were fighting an information war. And they were winning. High Arbiter Quindara received updates from across the galaxy. The news was uniformly bad. Member species were withdrawing from council agreements. Trade routes were being abandoned. Some races were openly declaring independence. "How many worlds have we lost control of?" she asked her aide. 47 systems have declared independence in the last week. 12 more are holding referendums. The Tau Collective has announced they are leaving the council entirely. Quindara felt her ancient world crumbling around her. The council had ruled for 40,000 years. How could it all fall apart so quickly? The answer was simple. It had been falling apart for a long time. The humans had just given everyone permission to notice. Captain Tony Garcia commanded the human scout ship Horizon Walker. His job was to watch the council fleet and report their movements. But what he found was much more interesting than ship positions. "Admiral Ross," he transmitted, "you need to see this. I am detecting massive energy signatures from the forbidden zones. Whatever the council has been hiding in there, it just activated." The energy readings were off the charts. Hundreds of automated systems had come online simultaneously. They were spread across dozens of star systems, all in areas marked as too dangerous to explore. Dr. Alex Carter, monitoring the signals from his research station on Mars, made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the human command structure. "These are not weapons," he reported. "They are construction systems, massive ones. The Council has been building something in secret for thousands of years." Admiral Ross felt a chill run down her spine. "Building what?" "From the energy patterns, it looks like terraforming equipment. Industrial-scale planetary engineering systems. The Council has the ability to reshape entire star systems. The implications were terrifying. If the Council could reshape planets at will, they could relocate any species that opposed them. They could destroy worlds or create new ones as they saw fit. They had the power of gods, and they had been hiding it for millennia. Ross made a decision that would change the course of the war. Broadcast this information immediately, all frequencies. Make sure every ship in both fleets receives it. The revelation hit the Council fleet like a thunderbolt. Crews that had been loyal for generations learned that their masters possessed unimaginable power. Power that could erase their home worlds from existence. The defections turned into a flood. Thexnel watched his fleet dissolve before his eyes. Ships were breaking formation, powering down their weapons, or simply leaving the battle zone entirely. His carefully planned invasion was becoming a disaster, but he still had enough ships to destroy humanity, and he was determined to use them. All remaining vessels, he broadcast, advance to attack positions. We end this rebellion here and now. The war for the galaxy's future was about to begin. The battle began at the edge of the Sol system. It was not the grand clash of fleets that poets would write about. Instead, it was chaos. Pure, beautiful chaos that no military academy had ever taught. Human ships appeared from behind asteroids, moons, and gas clouds. They struck fast and hard, then disappeared into the darkness of space. The Council's massive formations, designed to fight other massive formations, could not adapt to this new kind of warfare. Captain Maria Santos commanded the heavy cruiser Iron Will as it emerged from behind Jupiter's largest moon. Her target was a Council command ship 10 times her size. The alien vessel carried enough firepower to destroy a small planet, but it was slow and predictable. "Fire everything," Santos ordered her weapons officer, Lieutenant Paul Anderson. "Target their communications array and their engines." Iron Will's weapons lit up space with deadly energy. The Council ship's shields flared and collapsed. Its communication systems went dark. Its massive engines began to fail. 3 minutes later, Iron Will was gone, vanishing into the asteroid belt. The Council ship drifted helplessly, unable to call for help or pursue its attacker. This scene repeated hundreds of times across the battlefield. Human ships fought like wolves hunting elk. They picked off stragglers, damaged ships that could not keep up, and command vessels that tried to coordinate the Council forces. Supreme War Coordinator Thexnul watched his perfect fleet fall apart. His flagship, Cosmic Authority, was surrounded by smaller ships for protection, but even they were being picked off one by one. "Why can we not hit them?" he demanded. His tactical officer, a young Vorthon named Pelnix, tried to explain. "Sir, they do not fight the way we fight. Our weapons are designed for large targets moving in predictable patterns. Their ships are small and fast. They appear, attack and vanish before we can respond." "Then we adapt," Thexnul snarled. "Break the fleet into smaller groups. Hunt them down." But it was too late for adaptation. The revelation about the terraforming systems had shattered what remained of Council unity. Ships that had served faithfully for centuries were now turning their guns on former allies. The bridge of the Kalari battleship Storm's End erupted in cheers as Admiral Zexnal watched a Council heavy cruiser surrender. His people had been loyal subjects for 800 years. Now they were free warriors fighting for their own future. "Admiral," reported his communications officer, "the Tau Collective Fleet has engaged Council forces in Sector 7. The Yelani Defense Corps is evacuating civilian populations from contested worlds." The war was spreading across the galaxy. What had started as an attack on humanity was becoming a galactic revolution. Dr. Alex Carter made another discovery that changed everything. From his research station on Mars, he detected something remarkable about the terraforming systems. "Admiral Ross," he transmitted, "the systems in the Forbidden Zones are not just construction equipment. They are archives. Massive databases containing the history of every species the Council has ever controlled." The implications were staggering. 40,000 years of hidden history were stored in those systems. Evidence of every lie, every manipulation, every crime the Council had committed. "Can we access the data?" Ross asked. "I believe so," Carter replied. "The systems are responding to our scanning attempts. It is almost as if they want to be found." Ross made a decision that would echo through history. "Broadcast the access codes to every ship in the galaxy. Let everyone see the truth." What they found in those archives was worse than anyone had imagined. The Council had not just controlled trade and territory, they had systematically destroyed civilizations that showed too much independence. They had rewritten history to hide their crimes. They had turned the galaxy into their personal empire while pretending to be benevolent rulers. The truth spread faster than any weapon. Council ships received the data and immediately began standing down. Some crews arrested their own officers. Others simply powered down their weapons and refused to fight. On the bridge of Cosmic Authority, Thexnul faced his final defeat. His fleet was gone. His allies had abandoned him. Even his own crew was looking at him with hatred and disgust. "Sir," his communications officer said quietly, "we are receiving a transmission from the human flagship." Admiral Ross appeared on the main screen. She looked tired but determined. Behind her, the bridge of Defiant Dawn hummed with activity. "Coordinator." "Thexnul," Ross said, "your war is over. Surrender now, and your crew will be treated fairly." Thexnul wanted to fight to the end, but looking around his bridge, he saw that his officers had already made their choice. Weapons were powered down. Shields were offline. The war was truly over. "I surrender," he said quietly. The formal end came 3 days later. Council Speaker. Veltara broadcast a message to the entire galaxy. Her insectoid features looked ancient and defeated. "The Galactic Council hereby dissolves itself," she announced. "All member species are released from their obligations. All territories are returned to their original inhabitants. The galaxy is free." But freedom was just the beginning. 6 months after the war ended, representatives from over 200 species gathered on the neutral world of Haven. The planet had been chosen because it belonged to no government and had no history of conquest or conflict. Ambassador Jake Morrison stood at the podium in the new assembly hall. Around him sat delegates from across the galaxy. Humans, Kalari, Tau, Yilani, and dozens of others. Even former council species were welcome. "We gather here not as rulers and subjects," Morrison said, "but as equals. Each species has the right to govern itself. Each world has the right to choose its own path." The applause was thunderous. It came from throats, mandibles, vocal sacs, and organs that had no human names. But the message was universal. Freedom had won. The new Galactic Alliance was nothing like the old Council. There were no mandatory trade routes, no forbidden zones, no secret archives. Decisions were made by consensus, not by force. Species could join or leave as they wished. Most importantly, the terraforming systems were opened to everyone. The technology that the Council had hoarded was shared freely. Barren worlds became gardens. Dead systems came alive with new colonies. Captain Amy White, now an admiral, led the first joint exploration mission into the deep galaxy. Her ship carried a crew from 12 different species. They were searching for new worlds, new life, new possibilities. "It is strange," she said to her science officer, a young Kalari named Yixtal. "A year ago, our species were enemies. Now we explore the stars together." Yixtal's silver skin shimmered with amusement. "My grandmother always said that the best friends are former enemies. They understand the value of peace." Back on Earth, children learned about the war in school. They learned how their parents and grandparents had said no to tyranny. They learned that freedom was not something you were given, but something you had to take. But they also learned something else. They learned that the galaxy was vast and full of wonders. They learned that other species were not enemies to be feared, but friends to be discovered. 5 years after the war, the galaxy was barely recognizable. Trade flowed freely between worlds. Art and culture spread from species to species. Scientific discoveries were shared openly. Wars still happened, but they were small conflicts between neighbors, not galaxy-spanning conquests. The humans had done something no one thought possible. They had broken the cycle of domination that had ruled the galaxy for 40,000 years. They had created something new, not an empire, not a federation, just freedom. Commander Jake Morrison, now retired, sat in his garden on Earth. The sun was setting, painting the sky in brilliant colors. Above him, the stars were coming out. Each point of light represented new worlds, new peoples, new possibilities. His granddaughter ran up to him, holding a toy spaceship. "Grandpa," she asked, "is it true that you once told the whole galaxy no?" Morrison smiled and picked her up. "Yes, little one, but that was just the beginning. The real work was building something better to replace what we tore down." She looked up at the stars with wide eyes. "Will I get to explore them someday?" "All of them," Morrison promised. "Every single one. Because that is what free people do. We explore, we discover, we grow. The galaxy belonged to all of them now, and it would never be the same again."